Hello and welcome to this video where I talk about the Olympus TG5 accessories, the LG-1, which is the light guide, and the FD-1, which is the flash diffuser. So you can see they're both plastic attachments that go on the front. Here's the LG-1, it's simply just plastic and it just diffuses the LED off the camera. And here's the FD-1, which is a bit more substantial, and you can see that the flash goes through there and it gets diffused, and it gives a more pleasing ring light effect and also diffuses the flash so you don't get harsh shadows. To fix the attachments onto the camera, you just take off the ring and then you just snap them into place. Like I said, the LG-1 fits over the LED and the FD-1 fits over the flash. The flash is of course much more powerful than the LED. With the LED you get the advantage of illumination while you're composing your image. Put the LG-1 on, snaps into place easy. To turn the LED on you just hold down the info button. And you can see on the back of the screen that it's illuminated because you get more bluish cast, and you can see it's giving off light here. So this is really useful for macro shots. What's quite nice about the LG-1 is it does give, with reflective surfaces, a really nice look. So you can see the effect of the LG-1 here. You can see that the LG-1 shows up in images, and to turn off the LED just hold down the info button. So attaching the FD-1 is exactly the same. It's a little bit more fiddlier, but it's pretty much the same, just snaps into place. It does change the profile, and you can see here that the light comes out of that frosted section from the flash and it diffuses around the ring and is reflected at your subject. Both the FD-1 and the LG-1 are intended to improve your macro photography. You can see the FD-1 is a bit thicker and has a bigger profile on the camera. So put the TG5 into macro mode and then you can go across, and you've got a lot of options for flash. You've got fill in, you can turn your flash off, you can do remote control, or you can set the power manually or on auto. Set it manually, press info, and you can set the power output. This is something you can't do with the LG-1. The LED just has one power output, but with the FD-1 you can vary the intensity of the output. You can also record in your camera that you're using the FD-1. It did seem to improve some of my images, but not greatly. Recording that you're using the FD-1 I think just gives your camera more automation. You can see that you can get really close, so close in fact that you block out all light. That's why the FD-1 and the LG-1 are really good, because they mean you can get your camera really close and you don't block out all the light, you illuminate your subject to take the photo. Like I said, with the LG-1 you can actually see what you're doing in dark situations or where the light is blocked out, which you don't get with the FD-1. So here I've got the LG-1 fitted, but I've not turned it on. I've just taken a picture that you can see here in macro mode. Turning the LG-1 on, there is a change in shutter speed, and it doesn't really have a great deal of effect on the image. I was doing this in very bright sunlight. You can see all the sunlight reflecting here. And now I've got the FD-1 turned on, and I've taken an image, and I get a much faster shutter speed if I use the FD-1, particularly in auto mode. So this to me is a much more pleasing image. I can get an increased aperture. With the FD-1 I can get my aperture value down to f14, which I cannot get with the LG-1. When I've got good exposure, it's very difficult to tell the difference between the LG-1 and the FD-1. So when things are good and you're not chasing depth of field, you'll see you don't get a huge difference in the image output. I do prefer the image from the FD-1 though.